Let's talk about the most powerful tool you possess as a human being. Welcome to Unbothered Energy Weekly. I'm Crystal, and I'm so glad that you're here. And understand if you're seeing this, it's no accident. Something in this message is for you. So today we're going to go ahead and continue our discussion on the Four Agreements, the book by Don Miguel Ruiz that I previously stated in my first video on the book being the most important book I have ever read. It teaches you not only about your own energy and being in the world, but how to deal with other people. And that's truly one of the best ways to become unbothered. Don Miguel Ruiz says that this first agreement is not only the most important, but the hardest to follow and honor. And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Now, when I first heard this first agreement, I remember thinking, I'm very impeccable with my word. I have very strong convictions around integrity and saying what I mean and meaning what I say. But the truth is, that is just scratching the surface of what it means to be impeccable with your word. In the book, Ruiz explains truly how powerful words are, and he teaches that the word is responsible for creating the reality and the life that you're living. Your entire worldview, your belief systems, and your perspectives exist because of what you were told by the people who were part of your domestication, the people that raised you, ingrained in you what your reality is by using their words. The agreement, be impeccable with your word, teaches us that we have a choice on how we create our reality. We can either create a living hell or heaven on earth based around how we use the word. The most powerful example of how words can create hell and chaos is what Hitler accomplished with his words. Hitler himself, he didn't have to use his own hands to harm anyone. Instead, he used the word to plant seeds of hate and fear in the minds of others who fell under the powerful spell of what he was saying. That's why we call creating words spelling. After reading this book many years ago, I started to become hyper aware of the verbiage that I was using to describe my life and my life experiences, and everything began to shift. I used to complain and gossip and commiserate and just be a negative shit. How we think and speak about ourselves, the world around us, and other people determines the kind of life experiences that we receive. It really is that important. Before I started to really take the time to radically overhaul my life and take responsibility for myself and the actions and the things that were going on in my life, I was not in a good place. I was very poor. I blamed the world. I was angry and cynical, and I gossiped and tried to make myself feel better by tearing other people down. I did a lot of damage with my word before I knew better. Being impeccable with your word, it goes deeper than just being honest. It also teaches you to mindfully monitor what kind of seeds you're planting in yourself and others. And it highlights the importance of using your voice to create and not destroy. When we break this agreement, we only harm ourselves. Examples of misusing the word would be things like speaking ill of your body and your health, talking about not having enough money or resources, using the word to tear down others or harm them, lying, gossiping, spreading rumors, prejudice against people who you perceive are different than you, and instilling fear or insecurities with negative beliefs. So this week, I challenge you to pay attention to how you speak. How are you speaking about your life, about yourself, your body, your circumstances, the people around you, those you love, those you can't stand, everything that you've been dealt? How are you speaking it into existence? Does the positivity outweigh the negativity? Stop claiming things that you don't want by speaking about them. Align your words and thoughts with the ultimate truth, which is love. So instead of coming up with my own affirmation for this week, I'm going to use an affirmation deck that is specifically from the book, The Four Agreements. I did go ahead and pull out all of the cards that are specific to the Be Impeccable with Your Word first agreement. So we're going to allow the cards to determine what you need to focus on this week when you find yourself speaking ill of your life. So let's see what the cards have to say to us today. So this says, replace fear with love. The human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. When you are impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for the words that come from fear. Your mind is only fertile for the words that come from love. In my experience, when you start to really, truly love yourself, you don't want to be anything but honest, open, and a channel for what is good and positive. Until next week.